Hey, it's good to see you. This is Everyday Mary. This is my everyday channel where it's very informal and cats jump in my lap and things happen, and I don't edit anything out. I don't bother because this is just a very informal channel. We don't worry about standing on ceremony around here. Not that I worry about it too much on the other one. I really don't here. And I swear and things, so you hear words like shit and, you know, if that offends you, I'm sorry. I did say I was going to make a video about this, so I'm gonna do it. I don't know how long it will be. I'm not really sure, but I had a comment on a video. Let me start over. So, sometimes when I'm driving around doing stuff that I have to do, like, you know, going to work or whatever, I just get an idea. I'll just get a thought in my head and I'll just think, you know, I want to talk about that. I'd like to make a video and share this with the people on that channel. I feel like talking about this thing. Well, I got a little bit of time while I'm driving to work. Let me just do it now while I'm thinking about it, while it's still fresh in my mind. So I get my phone out, you know, I got my little phone, you know, and I'll pull it out and I'll just make a little video. But, you know, at the same time, I'm thinking, well, you know, if you do that, if you have it set up like normal, it wouldn't be too hard to see how to get to your house, first of all, or your job. And, you know, maybe it wouldn't be too smart to do that. So I don't. So what I do, because I'm basically a Luddite, I'm not interested in spending a whole lot of time and effort making things super fancy or whatever, because it doesn't interest me. I just want to communicate a message. I am not trying to, you know, compete with Steven Spielberg or anything like that. I just want to tell you something in a video. I just want to convey some information. I'm not really worried about the special effects and all that shit. So, I decided, Marty is down here chewing on a piece of paper. I just decided the best thing to do was just chuck the phone in the cup holder where you can't see where I'm going. I really didn't anticipate a problem with that, but apparently some people were upset about it. And last night, I got a comment from this fine person here. Now this is VS Boy 2577. I don't know what VS stands for. Could be Victoria's Secret, very shallow, vaguely shiny. I don't know who VS Boy is. Maybe that's the initials. Doesn't matter. I like how he's looking at both himself and us at the same time, because I guess I'm kind of doing the same. You can call me self-absorbed and shallow and vain and all that. I know, it's okay. And it's kind of true. I mean, you have to be a bit, I don't know if vain is the right word. You have to have a certain personality to do this kind of thing, to get out there and to make videos of yourself and just put them out there for the entire world to see and criticize and make fun of. It takes a certain type of person to do that, and I firmly believe not everybody can, not everybody would. So yeah, maybe I am vain and shallow, and I'm fine with that. I've been called vain and shallow multiple times in my life, and I'm not really worried about it. I don't think I'm overly vain or shallow. If I were overly vain and shallow, I would not be on a video looking like this. I'm right in the middle of my day off. You know, it's Saturday. What do you look like in the middle of the day in January on Saturday? If you have the day off work and you're just at home, are you glamorous? I'm not glamorous. Maybe other people are glamorous. I'm really not. I'm getting ready to do a facial and redo my nails, so I'm not really worried about it. I did get my eyebrows tinted last night. That's why they're a little bit dark. Anyway, VS Boy 2577 in all his shining glory said to me, putting a camera in a cup holder is highly disrespectful to the person's viewers. I just do not comprehend why content creators think they are some Hollywood A-listers that fear the public. There's several things you can address here. First thing, we got that first sentence right off the bat. Putting a camera in a cup holder, boop, is highly, not just disrespectful, highly disrespectful to the person's viewers. Is this infringing on people's like religious rights or something? I'm trying to understand what is highly disrespectful about me going boop and then talking for 20 minutes. It's very disrespectful. He didn't elaborate. He just said it is highly disrespectful to the person's viewers. I'm so sorry to be disrespectful. God, if that's disrespectful, I imagine I have a lot to apologize for, because that's like the least of the shit I've done. I mean, I've dropped y'all on the floor. I've smeared the lens of my finger. I've blown on it and then... I'm sorry. You could probably file charges against me for that. I'm sorry. It is so disrespectful. I myself am very, I don't know, disrespectful, I guess. It's because I'm so vain. I just do not comprehend why content creators think they are some Hollywood A-listers that fear the public. I thought about that, and the Hollywood A-listers thing kind of stuck in my head, and I thought, you know, maybe 20 years ago that would have meant something. Honestly, in 2024, I think especially since COVID, I think something shifted in 2020 in more ways than one, but I think the way people look at Hollywood A-listers changed quite a bit after that, and it has continued. It has persisted to this day, and I think it's going to stick with us. Do you, I mean, maybe it's just me, do you follow any Hollywood A-listers? Well, I mean, I never really did before. Do you look up to them? Do you worry about what's going on with them? Are you obsessed with any Hollywood A-listers? How many Hollywood A-listers do you know current information about? I mean, whether it's an actor, a singer, entertainer, whatever. Hollywood, I think of like actors, but it could be other entertainers as well. How many of them at this present time do you really give a shit about? I'm thinking just right off the top of my head, how many Hollywood A-listers do I give a shit about? Well, that's easy because the answer hasn't changed. It's been this way my entire adult life. 0. I don't give a rat's ass about Hollywood A-listers, and they don't give a rat's ass about you. You know they talk shit about you. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them have a lot of contempt for you. They see you as annoying bottom feeders, and they really wish they didn't have to deal with you at all. They don't care about you, so I don't know why people spend so much time caring about them, but that's just my opinion. It's fine. I mean, I guess it's a hobby for some people. It's something to do. In this day and age, I would say online content creators, I would imagine there are more online content creators who have what you would call a following than any Hollywood A-lister. I couldn't even tell you who a Hollywood A-lister is at this point. Who? I'm 50, so, you know, a lot of people think I'm stupid. You know, you're stupid and old. One of my favorite recent comments, I don't know how old this person is, but their comment was, I don't normally like watching old people, but I like watching this old lady's content. Now, I don't know if they meant that to be funny, but, oh, thanks. I'm not that old, Jesus. I'm not that freaking old, but you know what? I guess if you're like 13, I'm ancient. I was raised to have better manners than to talk about anyone that way. But anyway, I can't think of any Hollywood A-listers that I care about, but I can think of, I mean, I don't even know that much about online content creators because I don't watch any of them, but I would be willing to bet that for the general public, at least in the United States, there are more online content creators that have a following than any celebrity. And I'm not saying no celebrities have followers. I know they do. And they might have to worry about stalkers and stuff like that. But, I mean, surely you've heard, VS Boy 2577, surely you have heard about online content creators being harassed and stalked by people that follow them. Surely you've heard of this. If you got away from the mirror long enough to watch something online, surely you've heard this. It happens pretty frequently. I think a lot of it is lower level, you know, pretty innocuous stuff, but some of it can get pretty serious. So maybe VS Boy 2577 just doesn't realize that Hollywood A-listers are not what they were even 10, 15 years ago, which frankly I'm grateful for because I never understood the celebrity worship anyway. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'll just say this, and I'm going to get crucified for it. I don't care. I don't understand the fascination with Taylor Swift. I don't get it. I know people my age who are obsessed with her, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. there, I said what I said, just my son is talking to me. So that has nothing to do with anything. I don't understand it. I know people my age who cannot stop talking about Taylor Swift to the point that I think it's some sort of mass hysteria, and I really wish it would just die. I don't wish she would die. I mean, the hysteria. I want to make that clear. She's totally fine. I think her music is fine. I just don't understand the paying like $1,000 to go see. Anyway, so Hollywood A-listers today are not what they were, and content creators online are not what they were. They are much more visible. They're much more famous. And I'm not saying I am. I'm talking, but there are plenty of people who are. I mean, you could probably think of 10 right off the bat without even trying hard. People who are really big, have a huge online presence, who are not what you would call a Hollywood A-lister. But I guarantee you the Hollywood A-listers know who they are. And they wish they could have fame like that, but they no longer do, because Hollywood has lost a lot of its sheen. A lot of the sheen has worn off, and it's not really all that fascinating anymore. I never really understood it, but I'm kind of glad to see it dying out. Anyway, so I was going to tell you about my stalker. I had a stalker. Now, I want to say this right up front to VS Boy 2577 and whoever else may not know this, and you're ignorant. I'm not saying you're stupid. You're ignorant. You do not know any better. You do not have to have a huge presence online or otherwise to have a stalker. There are everyday people who can have stalkers. It could be just as simple as, like, say you work in a grocery store and you have a customer. And I had this happen to me when I was in college and I was working in a drugstore. There was this man that would come in. I was 18 years old. There was this man who would come in every day and buy a granola bar. Sometimes he would buy a Diet Coke. He would come, he maybe was in his mid-30s, kind of looked like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. He would come in every day and buy that. And he would come through and he would say, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you today. You weren't here yesterday." I said, "Yeah, I was off yesterday." You know, and at first it was very innocuous. It was not any big deal. But then one day he came in and he slipped me a note. Well, first, before that, he asked me, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 18. He said, "Okay, good." And then he didn't say anything else. I'm like, "That's weird." And he left. And he came in the next day and he slipped me a note. And he told me that he had followed me to my apartment, and, you know, driving. And he wanted to get to know me better, and he thought I was so beautiful, and he likes young girls, and he will take me out to eat. And there was some other inappropriate, very inappropriate stuff in there. And fortunately, I took the note to my manager the next day and showed it to him and said, "Here's," you know, I pointed him out I said, "It's this guy, he comes in every day." They banned him from the store, and I didn't see him anymore after that. So you don't have to be famous to have a stalker. I wasn't famous. I was in college. You know, I wasn't anybody. You can have people stalk you and become obsessed with you, whether you're famous or not. Hollywood A-listers are not the only ones who may have to worry about that. There are everyday people. It could be a former partner. It could be somebody you don't even know. It could be anybody. It could be your neighbor. I mean, it could happen to anyone at any time, and it's kind of freaky to think about. But yeah, and in fact, I had a conversation with another YouTuber who has a small channel, like 1,000 subscribers. She had just started like this ASMR channel, and it was when I had talked about a stalker before, and she was telling me that, you know, I had a stalker. And it was, my channel is small. I didn't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. And this guy became obsessed with me and was doing research on the internet and found out all this information about me and was sending stuff to my house and like talking about, "I'm going to come see you." And it was kind of like my situation. So don't think that only big time people have to worry about that. I mean, it could happen. Hell, it could happen to you. It may have it. You may have had an experience like this. So it's ignorant to think that only famous people have to worry about that and the consequences that could come from having a stalker. So, so anyway, I did deal with this. Now, this was about 6 years ago, and fortunately, it hasn't happened anymore. We will call this guy Robert. That's not his name. We're going to call him Robert. So My channel at that time had maybe 30 or 40,000 subscribers. So, you know, it was not what it is now. I'm talking about my other channel, not this channel. Southern ASMR Sounds is my other channel, if you don't know about it. A lot of people stumble upon this channel and they don't know about the other one. And so sometimes they're like, what is she talking about? So that's the other channel. So it wasn't that big. You know, it's always been just something I do for fun. I'm not really worried about it. So this guy, and back at this point, now you can't do it anymore, but back then when this all started, you could message people on YouTube. There was like this message feature where you could message a YouTuber and send them out like a private message. He sent me this message one day and he introduced himself. He said, hello, my name is Robert. I've been watching your channel for a little while and I find you to be very funny and relaxing and attractive. And I just think you're a really nice person. I would like to get to know you better. And that happens pretty frequently. That's actually pretty common. And usually I will just say, you know, I appreciate that. I'm very flattered. However, I don't really have time to invest a lot of time to get to know anyone on that level. You know, I have family members I don't even keep up with like I should, which is true. And I do. So I'm sorry, but, you know, I don't really have time for like a deep, intimate conversation. So, you know, but thank you for watching. I appreciate it. So, and usually that's the end of it. Usually that's about all you, and then they just, oh, okay, I understand, no problem, you know, and that's it. And, you know, that kind of concludes it. This guy, so then he messages me again the next day and he said, oh, I understand that. I mean, I'm willing to wait. I know you're a very busy person. So, I mean, I don't expect you to answer me right away. You know, you can take a day or two. It's okay. In fact, I think it would be good to move this to the next level. You know, I can make a video for you. I can make a private video because I don't want anybody seeing me. I'm a very shy person. I don't want anybody seeing me, but I would make a private video and send you the link. And that way I could introduce you to myself. You could see me. It's like we're having a conversation. And then you can make a private video back, and then I can ask you questions in my video, and then you can answer the questions in your video and make it private. So it would just be for the two of us. And that way we could get to know each other better. And I'm thinking, dude, if I don't have time to answer your messages, I damn sure don't have time for this. No offense, and I'm not an asshole. I'm just being pragmatic. If I don't have time to respond to your message, I do not have time for that. Just being real, just being honest. So I messaged him again. I said, again, I appreciate it. I'm very busy. I do not have time for that. Don't make a video. Don't do that because I do not have time for that. Thank you very much. I do not have time or interest in doing this with you. So he comes back, well, again, you know, maybe you're just not hearing me. I understand that you're busy, okay? I know you're a busy person. You know, you got kids and a job and you make videos and stuff. I understand that. You know, I have a full-time job too. I'm busy as well. But I was willing to make time in my schedule to do this for you. So, but if you don't want to, that's fine. We can get to know each other another way. How about this? How about we just message on here? And that would take up less time than making videos. And and we were getting bogged down at this point. And so I saw that. I'm like, okay, this is getting worse. I do not have time for this. And I think that was about the point when I just basically stopped trying to communicate, like, okay, this guy's not understanding me. He's not getting this. So I just said, I don't have time for this at all. Okay? I'm sorry. I do not have time to talk to you in any way. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Like, stop. Just stop. So, did he stop? No. This went on my interactions with this guy, Robert, went on for 4 months. 4 months with this guy. It gets worse. So he messaged me again and he said, you know, I just think you have trouble opening up to people. I think maybe you are just shut down. Maybe because you've only had bad relationships with men in your life and you just don't know what a good man looks like when one comes along. So I'm going to do my best to be patient and understanding with your responses. It's tough, though. it tests my patience, but I'm going to try because I think you're worth it. I'm going to just let you know a little bit about myself. So then he launches into this big, long life story. It's just this screed, this paragraph that is like a foot long in tiny words. Like, I'm not reading this. I'm not, and I didn't. I kind of skimmed it, and it was like, okay, this is just his life. Okay. He'd never had a girlfriend. He's never had a girlfriend in his life. He was in his early 40s, never been in a relationship, a loner, lives by himself down the road from his mom. He has like 5 or 6 cats. He lives in a house by himself on this road, like his mom lives up the road or something. And he's looking for love on the internet, basically. Looking for love. And I'm thinking, dude, you what? No, go to Match or Farmers Only or whatever the fuck you do. I don't know. Oh God. Okay. I didn't answer him. I just let it go. Like, I'm just not going to respond anymore. I'm not. This is ridiculous. But he kept messaging me. And basically, I know you're busy. I just hope you respond when you see this. And this went on for several weeks. And I didn't answer him anymore. I thought, if I just stop answering, I mean, it will, if I'm not feeding him anything, it'll stop. And I didn't mention it in any of my videos or anything. I thought, don't mention it, don't acknowledge it at all. And it'll stop. I mean, usually, you know, stuff like this just kind of peters out after a while if you don't feed it. So, no. It was at that point that the letters started coming to my house. There were handwritten letters that he was sending me to my home. And the first one I got, I pulled it out of the mailbox and I saw his name on it. And I'm like, oh shit. That is a horrifying feeling. That is, if you've never had that happen before, that is a scary ass feeling. Because my first reaction was to look around. Like, I mean, it didn't make any sense, but my first reaction was, the fuck is this man? He doesn't live here. He doesn't even live in this state. He lives at, I'd say, at least 1,500 miles from here. He does not live in North Carolina anywhere. He's pretty far away. So I took the letter inside and I read it, and it was long. And again, it was basically him telling his life story, and it was kind of all over the place. And then he starts talking about the two of us and how compatible we are. And he starts talking to me like we're already in a relationship. And it was a very long letter, and I just put it back in the envelope, put it away, like, okay, well, this has been kicked up a notch. He knows where I live. He sent it to my house. Is this way of him letting me know he knows where I live? Because I know now that he knows where I live. Just a second. My son's next door tinkering with something. Okay. So he sent some more letters to my house. He sent a total of, I don't know how many letters. I got a bunch. I have an accordion file of all the information from this 4-month excursion into hell. I kept everything just in case I ever needed it, and I still have it in case I ever need it as any kind of evidence if anything happens. And it was at the point when I started getting the letters that I told people close to me, like, look, here's this guy, here's his name, here's his information. If anything happens to me, somebody needs to contact the police and give them this information. I continued to think if I ignored him, he would leave me alone, because that's what they tell you. You know, just ignore it. They'll stop. Not always. And again, keep in mind, I was not a famous person. I didn't have some big YouTube presence. I was even more of a goober on the internet. I just had a smaller audience back then. Not that I have a giant one now compared to a lot of people. I still don't. These letters over time really started to just focus on our relationship. He would talk to me like we were a couple just going through a rough patch. You know, we'll get through this. It's okay. I mean, if we just keep the lines of communication open, it's going to be all right. This is going to work out. And he's like planning our future together and where we would live and what we would do and how he would let me keep making my videos, and it's a real sweet guy, you know, could let me keep doing that. And this guy was delusional. I mean, this guy was just absolutely delusional. Now keep in mind, I was not responding. I was not communicating with this person. at all at this point, like nothing. And he stopped messaging me on YouTube. I didn't get anything else from him on there. And I didn't respond. And I kept thinking, if I just ignore this long enough, he'll go away. It was very stressful. I mean, I had trouble sleeping at night, because you start watching your back everywhere you go. I mean, it's like there is some random person. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what he sounds like. There's just some random person out there who thinks we're in a relationship. And he just can't stop thinking about me. And he keeps telling me that. I can't stop thinking about you. I think you're so beautiful. I think you're the perfect woman for me. I think the reason I never had a relationship was because that God was saving me for you. And I don't care that you've been married 3 times. I don't care that you have kids. I don't care about any of that. I just want to be with you. I just want us to be together. So it's very freaky. Very freaky. So I'm trying to ignore it. But then one day, I was at work, and I had a totally different job then. I was at work, and the mailroom guy came into my office with flowers. He had like this big bouquet of flowers. And I said, what's that? He said, they're for you. These just came for you. I said, there must be some mistake. I'm thinking, what? Why would somebody send me flowers? And there was a card, in the flowers. Big beautiful bouquet. And I pulled the card out, and at this time I was working in a different place, and the card had his name on it. Hey Mary, how's the view from the 18th floor? He knew where I worked. He knew what floor I worked on. Now at this time I was working for a company that had 5 floors in that building. How did he know which one I worked on? Even if he found out where I worked, how did he find out which floor I was on? That moment right there that scared me. That was very scary, because I'm thinking, how would he know that? How would he? I've never mentioned that on the internet. I've never said a word about, number 1, where I work. Number 2, what floor I'm on. And that's when it started to occur to me that there was this was getting really serious. So I did message him on YouTube right away at that moment. And I was scared. I was mad. I messaged him right then, and I messaged him and told him basically to fuck off. Don't you ever contact me again, you sick piece of shit. And all he answered back was, oh, so you got the flowers. Oh. And then he said, well, I can understand your anger. Okay, I understand, trust me, and I'm not upset. It's okay that you're mad at me. I can take it. I'm not mad at you. I understand your anger. It's perfectly understandable for someone who's never been in a relationship with a good man. It's perfectly understandable that you don't know what that looks like. You've been in unhealthy relationships. You don't know what a good man looks like. And you're exhibiting anger as a response to that, and that's okay. I'm willing to stay with you and work through this. That was his response. So at that point, I did call the police, and I called like the non-emergency number, and I explained what was going on, and they assigned a detective to me, to this issue. And I talked to the detective, and she was wonderful. She was absolutely great. She came to my house that evening, and I made a full report. I showed her all the letters, the flowers, the card, just everything. And he had also started sending me packages through Amazon to my house. And it was like random stuff that, like, he would send me like a scarf and some napkins, or some pencils and like a little paperweight. Like, what the hell? So I told her I had to contact Amazon, and I had to get a number and call, like, is there a way that you can stop people from sending me stuff? Because there is this guy named Robert who is sending me stuff. I don't want him to be able to send me things anymore. And they said they would take care of it on their end. So, and I didn't get anything else. I got several packages from him through Amazon. And I come home from work, there's an Amazon box sitting on the front steps. I just pick it up, take it inside. I see it's got my name on it, zip, zip, zip. And I open it like, at first I thought it was a mistake. Like, I didn't order any of this. Why are they sending me this stuff? Because I order from Amazon all the time, and even back then I was ordering all the time. So I'm going, I have no idea what this is. And then there was a little slip in there, and it was a gift, like a gift receipt note thing, and it had his name on it. Thought you would like these things. Have a great day. XOXO Robert. So that's, I got several packages, and I didn't acknowledge that. I didn't say anything to him about them, but I did contact Amazon and ask them to stop. Can you just please not allow this person to send me anything else? And I didn't get anything else after that. So I met with the detective. I explained everything. I told her about the Amazon packages. I showed her the letters, the flowers. It was like, oh yeah, sounds like you got a stalker. Like, yeah, just a little bit. So she said, are you communicating with him? I said, no, although I did today because I was upset and very unnerved, because of the flowers. Because that was like, the flowers and the letters, I think, were just his way of saying, I know where you live. I know where you work. And she said, okay, so are you responding to him in any way? I said, other than telling him to fuck off today, no, I'm not. I am not feeding this at all. He seems to think we're a couple, and then I just have to learn what a good man looks like, and then everything will be fine and we'll be a couple. I have no interest in a relationship with this person. So she said, okay, let me talk to him. So I said, I have his phone number. He put his cell phone number in one of the letters. I said, there's a number in here if you want to call him. She said, I will call him. I will call him tomorrow. I'm going to have a chat with him, tell him who I am, why I'm calling, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I can get him to understand this is not appropriate. So she called him, and then she called me right away after she talked to him. She said, okay, we talked for about 10 minutes. This man is missing something. Like, he's a few marbles shy here. He's not all there. This man is not all there. I'm concerned about that. He is not. He truly does seem to think you two are some sort of couple, and that I don't need to be involved. That you two are working some things out. I said, that is not true. I don't know this person. I've never met this person. We do not have a relationship. So this went back and forth a little bit. She did tell him, you need to stop contacting her. She can get a restraining order, although it's hard when it's across state lines. It makes it more complicated. Like, you have to hire an attorney in that person's state, and you may have to go out there. But I said, I'll do it. I don't care at this point. I will do whatever. If I have to hire an attorney in his state, and if I have to go out there, I'll do it. I will do whatever I need to do to get this man to leave me alone. I can't keep dealing with this. So, the car. I forgot about the car. So at this point, I had a car. So, okay, it was right around this time I bought the car that I have now, and I was going to sell my old car. And I put it on, where did I put it? I think I put it on Craigslist. And there was nothing in the ad that would, and I didn't mention it on my channel. I didn't mention anywhere that I was putting this car on up for sale. And there are no pictures of my license plate in there. I took the pictures in a nondescript parking lot. I drove it out to Walmart and took pictures out in the corner of a Walmart parking lot. So it wasn't like pictures at my house. I was very careful about that, which you should do anyway. Pictures of the car. And the kind of thing, we will meet in a public place if you want to see this car. I didn't put any of my identifying information in the ad. There was no way you would look at this ad and know who was selling this car. No way. And you contact through the anonymous Craigslist email thing. So my phone number wasn't in there, my name, address, no, email address, none of that was in there. So I get a response from this lady. I thought it was a lady. I got a response from this lady that she was interested in the car and wanted to know if the air conditioner worked. And I said, yes, it does. The car is fine. I just don't need it anymore. I'm just going to sell it. So then this lady responds again, goes, yeah, actually, it's me. It's Robert. I just figured you wouldn't respond if I told you right away it was me. Look, I really want to buy your car. I'm very interested. I have cash. I can buy this car. And what I was thinking was, this is a perfect opportunity. See, I could fly out there. You come to the airport, pick me up, and then I'll give you the money for the car, and we can spend some time together, and then I'll just drive the car home. What do you think? And that floored me. That just floored me. Like, how the hell, of all the ads on Craigslist, I never showed my car in a video. How did he know that was my car? I'm starting to think, has he got some kind of something on my computer. Like, how does he know this shit? There was another thing he knew too. There was one of his letters. He talked about my younger son. He knew both of my kids' names, of course, knew their full names. He knew where their dad lives. I know I've never said that. And of course, I mean, you do, search around online. And like the detective said, whoever you are, I mean, don't think about it too much. But if somebody wants to find out lots and lots of information about you, they can. It's really not that hard. You don't even have to know their full name, and you can get online and find out pretty much anything you want to know about anybody. It's really not that hard to do to anyone. But okay, so he knew what floor I worked on. There's no way in hell he got that in a Google search. I've never mentioned that anywhere. And in one of his letters, he mentioned, he was talking about my younger son and said, yeah, I see that you have your son enrolled in this magnet school. Why would you, I'm just curious why you picked that school. I mean, I would think, and then he named another magnet school in the area. I would think this school would be better suited to his talents and abilities. Or maybe it's just too far for you to drive from your house. That's probably why you didn't pick it. And I'm thinking, I never mention what school my son goes to. I've never, not on any online platform have I ever mentioned that. Because he only went there for a year. I never mentioned, how did you know that? And I had the detective ask him that when she called him one time. How did you know what floor she worked on? He also, another thing he asked me in one of the letters. At that point, I was parking in a parking deck. For, when I would go to work, I had to park in this parking deck. He asked me in one of the letters, why do you park on the 3rd level? You always park on the 3rd level right next to the elevators, even though there are spaces on level 2. Why do you go up to 3? Is it because you think it's safer up there? Do you feel like it's more isolated? Are you worried about your car getting hit, like door dings? Why do you do that? Just curious. And it was just in the middle of one of his letters, and then he just went on to talk about something else. He's just dropping these little hints like, I know shit about you. You didn't know I knew. And that's when it just gave me chills. And I started to really believe this man's been here. He's been here. And he has followed me to work. He's followed me to drop my son off at school. Because I've never mentioned that online. He's followed me to work. Where else has this man been? I'll tell you where else I think he was. Because again, keep in mind, I don't know what he looked like. I don't know anything about what he looks like or how he sounds or anything. Because I've never seen him. I've never even seen a picture of him. The only way he could know I worked on the 18th floor would be if he rode up in the elevator with me. That information is not available anywhere. I worked in a building with thousands of other people. If he had gotten on the elevator with me and was going on up higher, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. He would have just been some dude on the elevator. That's the only way he could have known. I think he came here and was here for a period of time, or he came here on multiple occasions and followed me, and I never knew it. That's the other scary thing is you're thinking, somebody could be following you, you never know. Or he put some kind of something on my car, but a tracking device wouldn't tell him what level I parked on and that I parked next to the elevators. I think he personally witnessed that on multiple occasions for him to say, why do you always park there? Because I did. He was right. I always went to level 3. I always parked next to the elevators because I felt it was safer. And I was doing that before he came along just because the parking deck didn't have any cameras in it. It wasn't very well lit, and it just didn't feel very safe, especially in the wintertime when it's like dark when you get off work. And I always did that just so I wouldn't have to go too far to get to my car. And usually up there weren't too many cars, so that's why I did it. So he was right. He was right, but he knew where I parked. So when he said he was coming here, he said, I'm gonna make the arrangements. I'll let you know when I'll let you know when I get there, and then you can come pick me up, and we can go to your house, and you can you can let me take a look at the car and we can chat. I called as soon as I got that. I called the detective and told her, he's coming here. He's coming. He's making plans to come here. He found my car ad on Craigslist. I don't know how. He's planning to come here. We got to do something. Whatever I need to do, tell me what I need to do. Do I need to just leave for a while? Do my kids and I just need to go somewhere? I don't know what his intentions are. I don't know. But we got to do something. So she said, yeah, you're right. She said, let me talk to the sheriff's department out there where he lives. Let me talk to them and see if they can help us. She said, I wonder if it would make a difference if they, like, showed up at his house and talked to him unannounced. Just show up unannounced and have a chat. I will let him know what's going on. And she asked me again, you know, have you communicated with him? No, I have not. I am not communicating with him at all. The last time I communicated with him was when I told him to fuck off when he sent me the flowers. That was it. But he just kept going and going. There was one, my phone. God, there are so many details about this. My phone. He got my personal cell phone number. And he started calling me, and he would leave me silent voicemails over and over and over and over and over. He would call me all hours of the night, you know, just whenever. And I did message him one day on YouTube and through the messenger thing, and I told him, just stop. Just stop. This is going nowhere. I don't want to talk to you. I have no interest in talking to you. Leave me alone. And all he said was, oh, I'm going to keep talking to you. Yeah, because I've checked, and I'm not doing anything illegal, so I'm going to keep talking to you. Yeah. That's all he had to say, and I told her about that. And she said, okay, let me talk to the sheriff's department and see if they can help us out. So she talked to them, and she called me right back, and she said, okay, a couple of officers are going to go out there and talk to him. And this was like a weekday in the evening, and they went out there and reported back that they did. He showed up. He had just come home from work. They went inside and talked and explained to him, like, this woman has no interest in you. You need to leave her alone, or she is going to escalate. She is going to, you know, she'll get an attorney and she'll get a restraining order, and she will have no trouble getting one because she has plenty of evidence that you are harassing her. And that, thank God, was it. I think having them come to his house like that, and I wonder too, like, did his mom see that? Like, because he did mention his mom lived right up the road. Did she see cop cars at his house? I just wonder if she saw that and confronted him and asked him about it, and maybe it was enough of a wake-up call. Maybe just having the police there was enough of a wake-up call for him to go, what the hell am I doing? Or anyway, it scared him enough to make him stop. And I may be taking a chance making this video. Hopefully he has moved on or gotten some therapy or something, but I haven't heard from him since. That was the end of it. But I kept all that evidence. I still have every bit of it. You know, the screenshots, I printed them out, so I had copies of every single communication from this man and the letters and everything. I still have all of it. And so that was my stalker story, and it was a horrible 4 months. It was an absolutely horrible 4 months. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's scary. The thought of someone following you around like that, and it's like you feel so powerless. You feel like it's beyond your control. It's scary. It's kind of like if you've ever had your house broken into or your car. You have all these different feelings about it. Because I've had my house broken into twice. My car has been broken into 3 times. You feel violated. You're angry. You're upset. You blame yourself. Like, well, maybe if I'd had a better lock on the door or whatever, you know, maybe if I'd been home, or you have all these different emotions, and they're all terrible. The sense of just feeling so violated is so, it's so prevalent. Like, just, ugh. So, but I decided, like with everything in my life, I wanted to take something good from it. So I decided, well, what can you learn from this? Well, one thing I did during those 4 months was I beefed up the security around my house, the cameras and sensors on all the windows and doors, even on the second floor. And I have cameras everywhere, inside and outside of my house, that record audio and video 24/7. I beefed it up significantly. I spent quite a bit of money on the cameras and the security equipment on this house, and it still is in place today and has been upgraded since. I watch where I go. I'm always kind of looking, which situational awareness is important for everybody. It's something everybody should do. And a lot of people are just oblivious. They just walk around, they're just like this. They don't know what's going on. They're not paying attention to anything. I have almost hit people in parking lots because they just walk out in the road. They're just on the phone, and they're just not paying attention. Pay attention to what's going on around you. But people don't. So I try to be aware of what, the people around me, like what is going on, especially if I'm in like a parking lot or just anywhere where I'm getting in and out of my car or doing anything. I am watching everybody around me, not because I think you're going to do anything. I just want to know, where is everybody? What is everybody doing? All right. It's situational awareness is important for everybody, not just me or whoever. It's important for you too. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You may be able to help somebody else. Hell, there could be something going on that you could help prevent. Like you could see a shopping cart rolling towards their car. It's good to know what's going on. And I am not defenseless. I have a little friend that travels with me everywhere I go. My little friend is nearby when I'm home. My little friend is with me whenever I'm out and about. I've never needed my little friend, but if I ever need it, it's right there ready to go. So if anybody wanted to try to approach me and do me harm, my little friend is always there to help out. So I do have that. If anyone has any ideas, I have a little friend that stays with me everywhere I go. My little friend's right next to me right now, because you just never know. So I try to find the good things and, try to learn from experiences. So I just wanted to take a minute and give you a little story time. I don't do story time very often. Thankfully, it's over. I hope to never deal with that again. It's not fun. It's not flattering. This is not a TV show. Having a stalker is serious business, and you have to take it seriously. I'm not flattered by it. I don't find it adorable. I don't find it romantic. I find it sick and twisted and horrible. So to VS Boy 2577, bless your heart, bless you baby heart. Even if you're not a Hollywood A-lister, you can still have stalkers. So I learned from my experience, and that's why I put your ass in a cup holder when I'm driving to work. I hope it didn't offend you too much, but I'm going to keep doing it. And if it does offend you too much, you can just shove it up your ass, because I'm done worrying about what offends people. So that is my stalker story. Fortunately, Robert has left me alone, and let's hope he continues to, and let's hope no more Roberts come along to cause problems, because I don't want to deal with it. I'm old and tired, and I don't care. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful stalker-free day, and I'll see you again soon.